Hey everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play Underrail. In the last episode, we had... What did we do? What did we do? What was the last episode? Darn it, come on Tim, think. You just recorded this part and you have to reshoot it. You know what you did? The last episode is still confusing because of what I already redid in this one. I have to reshoot it. We made it back from the Forsaken Island. I babbled quite a bit about what I intend to do when we level up again. We went back to the Black Sea, and we destroyed the pirates that were there to search that area for oddities. Oh my god. And we found like 2 or 3 points total after wiping out the rest of the pirates in the Black Sea. Oh my god, poor pirates. That's what they deserve for Tim deciding to play oddity mode. We gotta wipe out every single person on every single room on the map because we need to search those shelves and garbage cans to see if there's a 1-point oddity item in them. And as you can see, when it comes to oddities, you might have noticed that our bar is completely filled, but we're not quite leveled. We need 1 more oddity experience point. And I felt that we could probably get that by turning in the quests that we completed to the Institute of Chort. We'll level up there, we'll talk about what we're going to do with those points, and then we will do any leftover quests we have for the Institute. Or we'll probably finish the investigation departments, but we'll hold off doing preservation until probably next video. Alright, so, first things first, or second things first. Some things second or first. I just babbled about recording this part. Yes, hello everyone. Occasionally, there's a recording problem, and by that I mean Tim has accidentally hit stop recording. Hasn't happened in a long time, but thankfully, the Tim of today is much better than the Tim of 4 or 6 years ago, when the Tim of back then would be lazy and wouldn't check to see if he had recorded the game or not properly. And at the volumes, yes, all the volumes, all of them, every one of them was set correctly during the recording, something I've been trying to work on over the past few years, in particular the past year. In any case, I accidentally stopped recording after 17 minutes for some reason. I don't know what happened. I think I was just... You guys can't see it, but I was moving my Fraps recording indicator to a different corner of the screen, and I must have accidentally hit stop recording, which is my insert button on my keyboard, and the swap FPS counter is instead my delete button. So they're really close to each other. If I hit one and not the other, the recording gets cut. So that was a bit awkward. The good news is I at least now know something I didn't know before, which is, well, that the person I wanted to go and get for the quest in the Institute actually cannot be brought to the Institute. He's not interested in going there because you just can't bring it up with him. And I started this game, as you saw. I started this at the Dragon Drop. Okay. But what we're going to do now is we're going to visit a handful of merchants to purchase medical equipment. That's the first thing, or second thing now. Third thing? No one expects the 5 things we're going to be doing. Not even Tim does. As I prepare for our eventual leveling within the next 25 minutes or so. We want to level our biology. I think in the end that's what we're going to be doing, so we can make jumping beans. It's not that important in the end, but looking at what else we can do, there's almost nothing we can do. Honestly, where these points are not very... throwing might be the only other thing I can think of that we could spend them in. We'll talk more about this a little later. When we level, we'll cover where these points could have gone and what it would have done for me. That will take like a good 15-20 minutes or so, which I'm sure you guys will find very entertaining to listen to me prattle on about for a bit. Hello! Welcome back to Underrail, everyone! This is the second time I'm recording this part. That's why I'm being so silly. Alright, so what can we talk about? What serious gamer things can we talk about, everyone? So, we are nearing the end of Underrail. I have decided that we really will just now focus on the Institute of Short Quests. I can't really think of a whole lot more we want to do. Let's see, let's go to the junkyard really quick. We got 4 minutes. It might be enough time to hit Fixer and get back to that Rift Gate. Yes. So, we're leaving behind quite a few oddities that we could get in the Black Sea, but it would require us murdering most of the savages to get them. In fact, I've managed to fill our oddity bar by slaughtering women and old folks in one particular hex of the Black Sea. I was seeing if I could find 1 or 2 rock piles which might have an ovoline or a diopside in them for 1 or 2 more oddity points. And I did find one, but it required me killing all the civilian savages there in order to, well, to get them. Because that's what you do when you play oddity mode. You kill everyone, and I mean everyone, because you have to search the barrels that are behind them. We could make a bunch of noise and I guess distract them for some of those barrels and boxes, but well, I don't want to have to worry about the timing. So in the end, everyone dies so we can get a candy wrapper and get 1 more point of oddity experience out of it. God, I'm the hero of this story. And so, yes, as you can see, we've almost leveled up entirely. I even went back to the Crimson Meadow Horticulture Center to get the frozen wedge of cheese out of the frost-covered area not filled with, I'm sorry, but that has strongmen walking around in it. Because I guess this is where Tim complains about oddity mode for a bit. Because why should you be able to avoid fighting something or exploring a spot in oddity mode? That's not what oddity mode encourages you to do. Now, oddity mode needs you to explore every inch of Underrail so that you can actually find the oddity points, if there are any, in that area. I feel like I should ramble on about oddity mode again. It's been a while since Tim's ranted about oddity mode. There is nothing wrong with oddity mode, everyone. Oddity mode is a perfectly fine way to play the game. I actually like it. I know you might not get that impression because of how much I shake my fist at it, but it's a really novel way to level up a character in a game. And it rewards, more than anything, exploration, which is how I, in particular, love playing any game. I love seeing what's around the corners, seeing what's in places other people can't get to, trying to leave the levels in odd ways, like in Thief, mantling over buildings to see if I can get to places I'm not supposed to get to, and so on. And it's like, that's another reason why I really enjoy all these hidden secrets, like the one we found in the last video with, was it 2 videos ago? 2 videos ago, where we got that oddity from near the behemoth fossil that I've never found before. That's such a joy to find something like that all on my own. But God, oddity mode also can be so frustrating because it requires grinding creatures to get the oddity points that you need. If you could get guaranteed oddities off of the creatures would drop off of specific places instead, I think that would be much better for oddity mode than what it currently is. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. And also, oddity mode feels like you're getting achievements. Like every single oddity was a real hurdle that you managed to get over. Finding all of a particular one as well feels fantastic. And finding the expensive unique ones is great as well. Unlike Classic Experience, which gives you that slow, constant drip to leveling that we're all used to, Oddity Mode feels a lot like finding that rare item in an action RPG that you're playing that finally dropped. It's like, oh, I didn't expect to find 3 more experience here. That's so awesome. Because of how hard it is to get it. I've heard people say that Oddity Mode is better because of the pacing of it, but that has not been my experience with Classic versus Oddity. You might remember that Gabriel Angelos, our Space Marine who played through the game last time, didn't reach level 30. He was level 29 when we ended the game with him, having done most of the Black Sea, and also killing all the pirates, and also defeating Chort. And he wasn't max level, because we didn't do grindy things with him. We didn't have to with Classic. We didn't have to kill creatures over and over. In fact, I don't think we did. Maybe we did once, but no, I don't think we did. Ever with him. Because that's not the way he was designed. That wasn't the experience mode we were playing. Whereas with Oddity, actually with Decker on screen, I have only had to farm the cave hoppers at the very beginning of the game. And I think we had to kill like 40 of them till we finally got the Dragon Tail 2-point Oddity off of them. That's so rare. Normally I've had to kill every single side beetle twice to get their 1-point Oddity to drop 3 times. Where I've had to go back and kill Siphoners over and over again, or the Bladelings 3 or 4 times in Foundry. So it's very pleasant for me to not have to have done that with Decker. I can think of many other Let's Players who have played this game who have not had that luck, and who have played Oddity, and they curse and shake their fist at it for being so grindy. Alright, let's get talking about that now, and let's talk with Principal Investigator Sheft. Need something, brother? Tell me about that Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have deployed the device. I know. I'm getting some readings. Were there any problems with the authorities? Well, what? I managed to run into a group of bandits. Bandits? At the station? Tell me, what happened? Well, I just dominated them and went about my business. It gives you a surprised look. Magnificent Chort! Just when you think everything would go as planned, something like this has to come up. Luckily, you have experience in dealing with similar situations, Decker. And that you were successful in deploying the T-ray emitter. Now, the reception we're getting is not as smooth as I had hoped for, but we'll work on it. See if we can tune it a bit. We'll analyze the readings and then we'll know the results. Here's 500 for you. He hands you 500 Stygian coins. Any more work for me? Take another emitter even farther? I'm afraid that's all for now, unless you have some experience in particle physics. Don't answer that. With your help, we now have more than enough data to study and plan our next moves. Also, a lot of paperwork for the next symposium. And also, we are fresh out of emitters. And also, thank you very much, Decker. Your efforts were apex, to say the least. Is there anything else you needed? I have to go now. See you later, Sheft. As you can see from these slight orange lines beneath my feet, I have just leveled up. Chort guide you, Decker, and where you put those points as well. Alright! Finally! Level 28. And everyone, I am not sure if we will ever reach level 29. I don't know if there's going to be 64 more experience points for us before we're done with the game. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and level. So, guns and melee. As always, whenever we level, it improves our damage, it improves our accuracy. We always want these being improved. I think we can spend 5 more points for dodge and evasion, Tim says, as suddenly he thinks maybe he doesn't want to do that. Okay, let's stop and talk about our remaining points before we go any further. We have 30 points currently. Putting them to Mercantile is something we don't need to do. As Lost Fremen pointed out, they're not really going to be beneficial to us. We would save a little bit of money purchasing things with a higher with any points in mercantile. However, we don't really need to save any money. We have just about 40,000 Charons. We've bought a jet ski. We have upgraded everything in my home has been purchased. We've got some leftover super steel that we bought, and we can afford another like 5 sheets and still have leftover cash. We don't need mercantile, and we don't really need to unlock anything special from the merchants either. We won't have the high enough level to do so anyway with just 30 points. So I think if we were to gain another level 29, before the Deep Caverns, and we dumped all of that in the mercantile, a mercantile of 70 might be enough to get 1 or 2 merchants out of the ones we've talked to reveal their hidden stashes. But Deep Caverns could possibly have fantastic equipment for crafting in it, rather than us relying on the merchants. So it is a waste, in my opinion. Persuasion and Intimidation are the same as Mercantile. 70 points, assuming we put all 30 into one of these, followed by the next entire level of points in them, will not be enough to meet, I think, any of the checks we would have in the Deep Caverns. And we're already done with the vast majority of people we will talk to in this game. It's too late for social skills and Decker. For Psy, well, 30 points probably in temporal manipulation would allow us to take a limited temporal increment, which could be useful for getting things off cooldown faster. But that would be like the only thing we would benefit from. If we put all 70 points, assuming we were able to level again before Deep Caverns, which we're not going to do, then that could also give us temporal contraction, or temporal dilation, which I like having. But we don't need them. And I don't really want to suffer the hit point penalty for taking the pill to unlock psionic powers. So we're not taking any psi with Decker. For technology, we don't need any more mechanics, tailoring, electronics, or chemistry. We could arguably maybe, however, well, I guess we could use mechanics if we find a super high quality pistol frame, 7.62, down in Deep Caverns that requires quite a substantial amount of mechanics. But we're going to take Underrail Pie with me, and we're going to take the +3 intelligence food with me down there. We won't have access to our workbenches, but we might still be able to craft a better pistol for us down there with those buffs ongoing. We can probably take our Hyper Cerebex with us, just to make sure. So I don't think we really need anything in mechanics. We're done building anything with electronics as well. We've determined that our Power Fist that we found is arguably as good, if not slightly better, than anything we would make. Our chemistry of 32 was actually a little higher than we needed it to be, because we didn't need 40 points in it to use in order to craft the bullets that we are making. So we wasted some points here. I don't see us putting any more points in chemistry. It could benefit us to make some MK3 or 4 grenades, but we're not taking any throwing, and I don't feel like killing ourselves by throwing a grenade at our feet. So that's not for us. 30 points in biology, however, in fact 41 points in biology is not enough to make focus stems, which require, I think, 50 in order for you to create taurine. And even if we're standing in our home, we'd have to drink the +3 stat, eat the +3 stat drink from the Dragon Drop to effectively make focus stems. I actually was looking to see if I could get one of those, which is why I started at the Dragon Drop. I could activate the cheat engine to see if I can get them to spawn, but I decided not to. We need a 35 biology if we want to make jumping bean drugs. And that was the reason why I was collecting all that insectoid saliva and trying to fish up some more eels. We need the electrolyte and that saliva to create them. But we can probably get by with a 21 in biology and maybe a 22? Actually, we can get by with just a 20. With Underrail Pie and standing in our workshop rooms in our home, that will be enough that we can get the 35 necessary to create the insectoid saliva, I think, and make the jumping beans. And I think this is the best use of those points, but let's cover a few others first. We could put those points into traps, getting us just about like 54 or so effective traps. Could be useful, but we can just slap on detection goggles. And I don't care about disarming traps with Decker. So I think that's a waste. So maybe like 2 more points in pickpocketing could be kind of fun. But I think our 142 is enough. It was enough to pick the pocket of Aiden. And I think this will be enough to pick the pocket of the one faceless leader we will find in the deep caverns for a 3-point oddity on him. We don't quite meet the total for maximum hacking and lockpicking, which I think is 140. But I'm okay with that. We're not... There might be a really good pistol frame in something that's locked or requires hacking 140, which I think is the highest check in normal mode that you will need to make. But I'm fine not having that. I don't think we put any more points in these. Dodge and evasion, though, are the only thing I would think would be even still useful. Just like your offense, if you're taking dodge and evasion, you want as much of this as you can possibly get. So I think we do put 5 more points in both of these. And then we put 20 points into biology. This should let us make jumping beans, and this will help us not take hits. Jumping beans, I believe, increase your dodge and evasion? I think it's both, by 10% of their current values, and give you an... No, it's 15%, 20% of your dodge and evasion. So we would gain an extra 42 points of these. That's very nice. And jumping beans also give us 10 extra, I think, movement points. And it lasts for 6 turns in combat. I think that's phenomenal, and we could really benefit from that drug. So we're doing this. As for our feats, I was looking through all of these, and I don't think we really need anything. There's a handful of them which could prove useful for the very end of the game, but the ones I was thinking of don't really make sense for Decker. That would be probably arguably the most helpful. Monster Slayer in particular. There's a lot of monsters down there in the deep caverns. By far, most of our enemies will be that, or robots. Chort, I think, counts as a monster, and an extra 15% damage would be really handy against him. But Decker didn't have this in Invisible Ink, so we're not taking it. We're going to stick with another fist attack or another pistol, and I think it'll be a pistol attack for us. We're going to take Point Shot. We have enough action points to fire our 7.62 pistol 4 times. It's like 11 or 12 action points to fire it. And that leaves us with like 8 action points or so left over. Not quite enough to fire it another time. I think that's been the case for us. And so Point Shot will allow us to fire our pistol again, if we so desire. It also means that if we do find a phenomenal pistol frame down there, like a 9mm, we could eke out 3 shots with it with Point Shot, rather than just 2 shots. It could be something to consider, given that like a hammerer has such a high crit damage. So we will take this. And as for our specialization, I've maxed out all the things I really wanted to take with Decker. So I think we will start with Gung Fu. Another good option for us would be Bullet Time. Gung Fu, though, is a passive, and we will always be benefiting from this, assuming we are right adjacent to something to gain that 5% extra skill value. We want this. It's just 5%, but it's 5% more damage, I think is what that translates into, effectively. And that will be really useful to us. Let's take it. Alright, Decker. Level 22. What is next? I will want more supplies. And we also need to turn in more supplies. I want more medical supplies because we will be heading home to make those jumping beans. And I think we should talk to Rista and let him know that the behemoth was a lie. Then we can see about that other quest that he wants us to do. Excuse me, miss. Let me shut the door behind you. You grew up in a barn? Alright. Hello, Rista. Yes? I've been to Forsaken Island. Really now? And what did you find there? I found 2 women living alone on the island, and while there was no living monster, found something almost as good. A skeleton of a giant lizard-like creature. That was incredible. When I noticed we could tell Rista about this. That's amazing. How about that? Apex. So there is truth to the behemoth tale after all. I was beginning to worry I was wasting Institute money, but this is good. Did you bring a bone sample or something I could take a look at, bro? We technically did, but we're not allowed to give oddities to anyone. Unfortunately, it was in a difficult-to-reach place. I could only see it from a distance. I was hoping for a sample, but... I guess I'll bring this to Lydia. Perhaps I can convince her to send an expedition there to dig up that fossil. Yeah, indubitably. As for the women, they're easy to deal with. I'm just glad to have been of use, brother. I'm happy, he laughs, and that is rare. He hands you 650 Stygian coins. This is yours. As far as I'm concerned, you're done with this. I'll relay your findings to Lydia, as I've said. What was that about genetic disease resistance? Well, it's something I got from the top. You know what I mean. Someone comes into my office and drops some stuff on my desk, whether I like it or not. I am the PI of the busiest department of the Institute of Chort, so things like that are unavoidable, I guess. Magnificent Chort. So what I got was about a project on genetic disease resistance. I had to find some subjects who have shown great resilience to deadly disease. Yeah, that's what I was told. What that means is he points to himself, the principal investigator, have to worry about subjects when I have the pacification project on my hands, Chorta's recombination paperwork to finish, George Giss's protein design data to review, even study some devolved cymorphs from deep caverns that were recently brought in. What I need of you is the following. Walk outside the Institute. There's a bunch of people there, and ask around if anyone exhibits what we require. If not, well, we did our best. Let someone else deal with it. If you do find someone, even better. Since they are already here, that would be easy to convince to come here and do simple tests. Nothing painful. That is all regarding the matter, indeed. Alright, I'll see what I can do, Rista. He nods. Alright, not bad. 5 experience points for both of those. We're on the way to the next level. Arguably, we almost got 1/10 of what we needed right there. Is that right? Yeah. We're totally not going to hit it, though. Volk! I talked to the principal investigator, Rista, and he told me we can trade. If he says it's okay, it's okay. Let me just change my gloves, bro. I'll show you what I've got. He does not sell what I was hoping he would sell. Okay. He does sell a crawler tail, which is interesting. Guess you can break that down for crawler poison. So, my plan now is to leave the Institute, because the only thing we have left to do is the preservation forces. Actually, no, not quite yet. I'm sorry. We do need to do this quest for Rista. So, let's go... We'll go talk to Detrius, who is who we need to talk to in order to get him to go to the Institute to complete this quest. I did, in the recording that has been lost, go back to Junkyard. It turns out I never did talk to the gentleman behind the locked gates who has dogs as pets. I was... Maybe, you know what? Maybe we do that now. It'd be more lore. Okay, let's do that, actually. So we didn't... It doesn't make sense thematically for Deckard to do it because we didn't actually see him earlier. You know, I should have just gone and talked to him off screen to see if it mattered the order that you did this in, but I don't think it does. Okay, so if we're going to the Institute, if we're going to check on Junkyard first, let's go ahead and get back to Core City, and we'll just take the docks there. We don't need to drink any juice. We can stop by Zilla's and pick up a few items of food that we'll eat as well. for our remaining time before we're ready to head to the deep caverns. Alright, and what can we talk about while we're walking? So, I've got my list of games that I totally talked about a lot, so let's talk about all the ones that I did not upload to my channel this year, because I began going through my Steam backlog. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has a massive backlog of video games, and I bought like another 30 this winter. And there's I completely passed by Zillas. And there's no reason for me to buy another 30 games when I have over 200 that I've never even played. And that's just on Steam. I probably have close to like 40 of those on GOG that I've never even fired up yet. I keep going back and playing the same games I've always played, rather than firing up something new. So this year was the year I decided, you know, I am going to sit down and go through my backlog. Maybe I've got a few gems sitting in it that I've never realized I've had before. And I did. So we'll talk about a few of those to start. The first one of them is a game I've mentioned a few times. And I actually had recorded myself playing through the entirety of the game, but I had modded the game a bit. I guess we'll talk about the game for a bit first before I talk about how I modded it. So, Cosmonator is a shoot-'em-up. The screen scrolls from the top to the bottom, and you're flying a spaceship. And you gotta dodge all sorts of enemy, it's like a bullet hell game, I think is another way I've heard these described. And I never have really played these games, or maybe when like River Raid would have probably been the only one of these games I played from an age ago. Or maybe, there was a helicopter game on the Commodore 64 I played the heck out of. Raid on Bungling Bay might be another example. But Raid on Bungling Bay, you could go anywhere you wanted in that game. It wasn't necessarily a side-scrolling game. But Cosmonator was. I saw a few pictures of it. The graphics looked a bit old school, pixelated, but I liked the look of it. And I was greatly surprised by how much fun Cosmonator was. There's like, I want to say like about 8 to 10 hours worth of game, assuming that you go through all the stages and you don't have to retry any of them. That alone was impressive to me, because most shoot-'em-ups that I've seen played maybe have about an hour or 3 of gameplay in them before you're done with them. There was a shoot-'em-up I played a few years ago that I can't remember now on my channel. You flew like a DeLorean through space, fighting enemies in Synthwave played, but I can't remember the name of it now. But that game only had like about maybe 2 hours worth of gameplay total, assuming that you didn't die and you got through all the bosses. But not only did this one have more time in it, the levels were phenomenally well balanced, getting more and more difficult as you advance forward with newer and stronger enemies. Several bosses for you to defeat, many of them very difficult, and I really liked that. And the leveling up system in the game was phenomenal. I think I beat the game with about 8 or 10 different builds for my ship, because you can upgrade it different ways. You can take different types of missiles, or all the missile upgrades, and only use missiles if you really want to. You can upgrade different passive skills, different activated ones. You can control time in the game. It's incredible the amount of versatility and variety you get from Cosmonator. But I modded my game. The only thing about the game that I don't know a way to describe it. I want to make sure I don't say anything negative about this next. I wanted different music. There's nothing wrong with the music in the game, but I wanted something more synthwave and techno-y. And so when I double-checked, all the music in the game were MP3s. And so just like when I was playing through Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I decided... Oh, we'll kill these guys too. Hello. Hello, enemies. Let's charge the dog. Charge your friend. Uh-oh. Let's say I might not kill him, but we did. Here comes another mutant to check. I just heard a cloth curtain get moved. So I replaced all the music in the game with other music from other video games. And, well, even though I had recorded like 12 hours of it, oh man, I was a little worried that I might get a copyright strike on my channel, or perhaps a copyright claim. I wouldn't mind the claim because it's not my music, I didn't write it. But I'm always nervous when that happens because nothing stops a claim from becoming a strike in the future. But since then, YouTube has added what they call checks for your video. I could let YouTube go through the checks for my video and see if anything was copyright claimed. And if it was, I could look to either replace that music with different music and re-record the part again, or just decide to leave commercials up on the video. We'll talk more about Cosmonator for a tiny bit after we're done talking with that gentleman. The man speaks to you from behind the barrel of his revolver. That's far enough, boy. I don't know how you managed to make it this far, but I suggest you start backtracking immediately before I put some lead between your eyes. Take it easy, man. I mean you no harm. And just what the heck are you doing here? I was just scavenging. I didn't expect to find any non-mutants here. Go scavenge outside. Everything in this house belongs to yours truly, and I aim to keep it that way. That's alright with me. He relaxes a little bit. Good. Who are you? I'm Wat Pear. I used to run this depot back in the day, before it went to hell. Stayed here even when everyone else fled or went insane from mutations. What happened to this place? How did all these mutants come to be? You know, over the years, I had these jackass scrappers come to me occasionally, asking me all sorts of questions before trying to kill me, and consequently becoming dog food. No one asked that, even though it's the only question that matters. You see, one day, these two strange men came to trade. I think they were Biocorp scientists, but I can't be sure. One was bald and pale, and wearing a breathing mask. He had wires coming out of his skull, and one of his eyes. And the other guy was very skinny, and his face seemed to have been burned. He was eyeing me so intently that I kept my hand on my gun the whole time. But that didn't matter. We traded with everyone, including Biocorp weirdos. So I sold them some petrol, mind shrooms, and some other stuff, and they traded me a pack of fusion cells. I remember checking every cell to be real and full. Sometimes people will be stupid enough to try to scam me. The cells were all good, though. After that, they left. I woke up the next day to the sound of my dogs squealing. I rushed out to my living room, only to see them convulsing on the floor, retching blood and acid. His face grimaces in pain and disgust as he speaks. I could do nothing to help them, so I put bullets in their skulls to end their misery. And I charged out. I was furious! Someone poisoned my dogs, and I was going to get to the bottom of it. But as I ran to the depot, I realized something much worse had happened. Everyone I ran into was either dissolving in a pool of acid they had retched, or were overgrown with these green boils, stumbling around, or had turned completely demented. For most of them, it was all of the above. I was dashing around like in a dream, or a nightmare rather. I didn't know what to do. I just stumbled from one building to the other and finally ended up in my shop. Behind the counter were those energy cells that I acquired the day before. It's hard to describe what was going on in my mind at that moment. They were definitely the things I purchased from those two scientists, and examined and accepted to be fusion cells. Only they were nothing of the sort. Not at that moment, and not when I purchased them. Do you understand? They messed with my mind, made me think one thing was another. Watt grimaces and puts his hands over his eyes. After he composes himself, he continues. They were mutagen containers. Why do you still live here among this junk and mutants, then? This is my home. This is where I lived and worked all my life, and this is where I'll die someday, probably. What? You think living with mutants is dangerous? Living anywhere is dangerous, but at least I know where the danger lies in this place and know how to avoid it. So how come the mutagen affected everyone except you? It did affect me as well, but not quite in the same way. Here in this forsaken place, it's sometimes easier to forget. But look around you, boy. Look at these ruins. The event I recounted to you happened more than 100 years ago. And yet here I am, still alive and kicking. I didn't age a bit. I never got sick since. See, that statement right there, I remembered what says this. And that's why I wanted to check to see if we could convince him to go to the Institute. I never even slept. Perhaps I was the result they were hoping for, and someday will come to reap what they've sown. I really hope that's the case. He twirls his gun in his finger. I'll wait for them 1,000 years if I must, and I will kill them. Be they men or something else. And that's it. We can't tell him, as you can see, about the Institute. He doesn't have any oddities on him. There might be oddities in his place, but I'm not willing to kill him to search it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Darn you, oddity mode, and your siren call telling me I need to kill everyone to search their shelves and trash cans. But we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're out of here. All right. So let's go back home. We'll make ourselves... Oh. Do I want to begin moving things for the great descendants? Maybe I do. How about we complete this quest for Detrius, we go back to our home and I make the jumping beans, and then we'll call the session then. Because what will happen afterwards is I will move some things to the Institute and get ready for the end of the game. Because I think in 2 more videos, we will be on our way down to Deep Caverns. And then probably 8 or 10 videos hence, we will be done with the game. There is still quite a bit we could do. Again, there's the savages. We could kill all the savages. There's probably half a level worth of oddities. Or at least like probably 16 or 20 there. There's the rig, which we haven't stepped into yet. We can get a quest from there. And if we kill everyone, we can get, I think, a 3 or 4 point oddity at the very top of it if we want to fight all the Black Eagles. Because we don't have stealth, so that's the thing we'll have to do. We could do the gauntlet. That's like a 4 or 5 oddity points there, I think. 3 to 5 points. And there's 1 to 3 oddity items in the gauntlet that you can only get from, like, the final core city plans, for example, and a train log there or something else of the sort. So that's an option. But all of that would take another like 5 to 8 videos to do. And everyone, I would like to be done with Underrail. It's a great game. I always enjoy playing this game. It's a phenomenal turn-based strategy game set in a really interesting, unique world. I love the setting. I like the writing. I love the combat. But this is my 3rd year playing it in a row. And according to Steam, I've got some 1,600 hours invested in this game as well. So, I think it's time for Decker to finally begin making his run at the home, for the home plate, as it were. But while we were here at Southgate Station, why don't we talk to Quentin about that strange thing we picked up at the top of the rocks by the entrance to the Black Sea. And I guess we could actually plan for the trip to Deep Caverns now rather than later. So we'll do that on screen so you guys can see what goes through my head when I do that. Hey, Quentin. Could you take a look at this for me? Show him the broken off spike. What is this? A pirate. Pyrite? The pyrite is gold colored, while this is no, not pyrite, the fool's gold, but pirate. The filthy, smelly water bandit that pollutes the waterways with his mere presence. He looks at the spike, clearly confused. Wait. This He raises it to eye level. This used to be a pirate. Yeah. The guy I broke this piece off of had been fully solidified by what I think is some kind of psionic force. Ah. I see what this is all about now. Well, psionics are always a possibility. So what do you reckon? He carefully inspects the sample. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of something you'd get as a result of pyrolysis. Wow. Why can't I pronounce this? Pyrolysis. Pyrolysis. What is that? It's a process of thermal composition of organic materials in an inert atmosphere, meaning it's either performed in a vacuum or by using an inert gas instead of oxygen. If you thermally treat an organic, carbon-based material in an inert atmosphere, the absence of reactive gases allow the material to undergo physical and chemical separation into different molecules. This is how you obtain things like biochar, for example. In the most extreme case of it's like paralysis. Why can't I say it? Pyrolysis. Pyrolysis. Called carbonization. The end result is mostly carbon. Looking at the sample you brought me here, I'd say that is precisely what happened to the man this used to be a part of. I am no geologist, but carbon allotropes, different forms in which the element can exist, produced naturally through high pressure, are things like diamond or graphite, the latter of which is formed in very thin, easily shearable layers. Here, the layers are fused together in an uneven fashion. That makes natural origin improbable. No. The more I think about it, the more I am convinced that this is just a strangely shaped piece of pyrolytic carbon, similar to graphite, but artificial and imperfect. But if I understood correctly, pyrolization only works in the absence of oxygen. This guy was carbonized in the middle of a cave. Then the acting psionic force you suspect of somehow did not involve oxygen. May I ask where you found this carbonized man? He struck a psi monolith with a mining pick. A psi monolith? I've heard about strange pillars holding great psionic powers within them. I've never seen one myself, however. This one's at the entrance of the Black Sea. Tall, angular, and brilliant structure, whose presence warps perception. Difficult to describe. I can only imagine. You know, I wouldn't mind you telling me about those monoliths once we have the time, as you seem to know quite a few things about them. More than I do, that's for certain. Sure. Now, where were we? Oh, carbonization, yes. So apparently the pirate, struck the monolith, he unleashed some kind of psionic force which carbonized him regardless of the surrounding atmosphere. Most likely in an instant. Looking at the sample and basing my hypothesis on things you told me, that seems like the most plausible explanation. Does explain a few things. Thanks a lot, Quentin. Appreciate it. Anytime, Decker. Sure bring me interesting things to study. Was there anything else you needed from me? Let's trade really quick. Do you have anything I want? You do. Some capsules. I suspect that that the pirates might give you that quest, or you can get it somehow from the pirates and turn it into the information to them somehow, because I've never been able to do so. Okay. Or do so. I've not figured out who to turn this into, but to be fair, the only other time I was here, the only time I ever got that was with Gabriel. I haven't been back to the pirate base and wiped them out to get it in some time. We're going to the pens. Exactly where I was. Alright, so the plan now is to prep for the deep caverns. We won't be going there in this video, and we won't be going there, probably won't be going there in the next one, because we'll be finishing the preservation forces for more oddity experience points. But we will be ready to go. So that means crafting jumping beans, and then thinking about what drugs we're taking, what food we're taking, how many repair kits, etc. we're bringing with us, and then carrying it all with us. Okay. Why do I have another empty bottle? Where do these empty bottles come from? I swear they just materialize in my inventory. Get out of here. Empty bottle. We don't want you with us. We also don't need that plasma core. Alright, so if we're going down the deep caverns, we're gonna want to make some bullets, right? Let's see, we want more JHP rounds. Okay. Next, we want to make the jumping beans. Let's grab out everything we need to make them. I should have bought more eels while I was out and about, but I did not do so. Alright, so let's extract some humors. Oh, actually, we need to eat Underrail pie. I don't think we'll have what we need for it. And by that, I mean the biology. We need a few more points. Like 2 more points. And I think I have that in my refrigerator. Nope. Freezer? Freezer. Plus 3 points. That's why I buy all that food. You never know when you might need to eat a pie instead of a rat house steak or barbecue. Okay, let's see. Once again, we'll take that back. Okay, time to whoosh down, pestle or mortar, some eels. Then we squeeze all these insectoid saliva glands. All of them. Every one of them. That's 64 clicks. 67 of them, however many of them I had. There we go. Okay, we don't need these ever again. Now it's time for jumping beans. Let's make as many of them, obviously, as we can, because we're never making any more of them. At least I don't think we are. Nice. Okay. How many did we make? We're not going to bring all of them with us. We don't need all of them with us. I just like knowing I have more of them, apparently. Alright, so we made 60 of them. Impressive. Now it's time for me to consider, what am I bringing with me down to the deep caverns? So I don't think I'm going to need 4 coagulation shots, because I don't think there's that much down there which will be able to bleed us. I'll bring half of the healing salves. I'm not really going to use the vitality powder very much. We'll bring 3 of it. 12 morphine. Will that be enough? I think we probably want a little more. Let's bring 3 more. We bring our 5 iron guts. We absolutely bring both our super... We have more super soldier drugs. We have no more super soldier drugs, but we'll bring both the ones we got with us. We're only going to need... we shouldn't even need these, to be honest, but we'll take our super health hypos with us. We'll take a few more advanced health hypos. 8 focus stims are plenty. We shouldn't need more than that. I doubt we even use that many. Bandages? We should also honey with me. Oh, hold. Am I still recording? I think I accidentally stopped the recording again. Let's bring 15 of these with me. Actually, let's bring more than that. Let's bring 20 of these with me. Quite a bit of weight, but I'm glad to have them. We can search areas with +1 more perception for secrets. We only have 10 adrenaline glands. We will bring more of those. Bring 20 with us. We will bring our Hypercerebrix, because if we find a better pistol frame down there, we might want to make ourselves a better pistol, and we will need that to do so. Let's think about food next. There won't be any place to eat down there, so we're gonna, or won't be a place, well, there'll be lots of places to eat, but nowhere for us to pick up more food while we're down there, to my recollection. Let's bring more eel sandwiches with us. We'll bring a slackjaw. Actually, yeah, we'll bring a slackjaw. We'll bring some bison milk. We'll bring 5 of that with us. Where is my +1 to... Oh, did I drink the last of it? Oh, I did! I don't have... the +1 to all stats. Oh, that's... Oh, we do have Sleight of Night, though. Let's bring one of those with us. That's awkward. I thought we had one. We're gonna really have to hope that we don't... We'll have to hope that our Hyperstrubix and our Underrail Pie will be enough to get us the points we need. We might then go visit the Dragon Drop one more time before we leave to see if we get lucky enough that they have that drink there again. On the off chance Bloody Ogliarch is used down there, we'll take one of them too with us. We don't really need that. The juice. Let's bring even more juice with us. Okay. I think that's good. Out of that cabinet. There's nothing there we want. We want Underrail Pies. Let's bring 2 of them, just to be safe. Barrel egg might be useful. We'll definitely bring 2 of mushroom salads, and we'll bring cave hopper steak. Bullets are next, as are repair kits. We will find plenty of things to break down while we're down there, which is good, because I actually don't have very many repair kits here on Decker. We'll bring both our patching kits with us. Actually, how's our armor? It's in phenomenal shape. This should be all we need for patching kits, if I'm being honest. We don't really take that much damage. Hopefully we can continue that. We've got 3 advanced electronic repair kits. Let's bring 1 more with us. And we'll bring 4 standard ones. We will need to bring all of our repair kits, and that will not be nearly enough. We'll probably want to bring some TNT with us. Let's bring 2. Let's bring a 3rd. Actually, 2 is plenty. We will find a jackhammer down there that we can use instead of relying on TNT. Okay, those are our drugs and our miscellaneous stuff. 12 flares should be enough. There aren't very many crawlers, though, like down there. Batteries. Batteries. Okay. Let's take 14 plasma batteries. And we'll bring half of our fusion cells. Okay, your bullets are over here, Tim. What grenades am I going to bring here with me? We will bring some more plasma grenades, but I'm not going to be relying on them. So we'll bring 4 total. No Allotropes with us. We got some EMP2s. That should actually probably be good. But this is the end of the game. So why not take our EMP MK3s with us? Yeah. Well, the 2s will be fine. Just in case. I'm probably not going to, everyone. Don't get your hopes up. But maybe we'll take on Fort Apogee when this is all over. And we'll use these MP3 grenades. MK3, yeah. For that purpose. We'll bring in 1 more sting ball. I don't think these will be used down there at all. We'll bring the single one that we've got. I guess we'll bring MK3. No, we'll bring some of these with us as well. Oh my god, please split that. Okay, that's good for our grenades. We shouldn't need any more. Bullet time. Man, we do not have the bullets we need. There's no way to get around that. We want all our standard rounds. We'll bring more of our micro shrapnel. And we'll want more standard rounds before we go down there. We'll check with the merchant at the Institute first. And everyone, I think that's it. I think we're prepped. I can't think of anything else we want to carry down there with us. I guess for... Well, actually, no. Yeah. No, yeah. There's nothing else I can think of that we need. Yeah, I think we're set. Let's go ahead and head to the Merchant District, though. We'll purchase some more standard rounds, plus any other special bullets Oscar has. And then we'll head to the Institute, talk to Rista, turn in that one quest, get 2 more odd experience points. And in the next episode, I will be ready to explore the West Wing. Standard rounds, special rounds. Oh! Actually, I'm not quite done. There is one more thing I want to bring with me. I mentioned several times that we might find a better... I'm a professional. We might find a better pistol frame while we're down there. If that is the case, then we will want to improve upon it. So we will grab some gun parts. What the heck is happening? A bunch of my brothers are texting. I'm gonna mute that. Alright, so we probably don't need to bring one of these, but we'll take a 7.62 firearm barrel, a laser sight, and where are my rapid reloaders? Okay. We are set, everyone, and we still have a bit of weight that we can carry with us. That's awesome. Normally, I'd lug 160 pounds worth of stuff with me if my weight capacity would be that much max, but I don't think we're going to need it. Bullets are the only thing I'm worried about, to be quite honest. But I think we'll have enough to see it to completion. What's down there? Coil spiders, burrowers. Crawlers, fungus creatures, tunneling worms, chortlings, robots, chortists. We'll get bullets off the chortists when we're down there. We'll be fine, Tim. You'll be fine. You know what, everyone? I think I could just carry all this stuff with me, too. I don't think we need to drop it off. Normally, I would want to drop this off. I don't like the idea of me carrying around all this stuff with me. But we don't need anything off of anything from now on, except for oddie items. And maybe picking up bullets to make up for the ones we're firing. Yeah, I think we'll just hold on to this. We're not going to drop it off in the locker by our bed. We'll keep it with us. Sorry, Lazy Lau. Or Lou. Lazy something with your lazy eye. You can keep your lazy eye and the top bunk. Alright, let's Let's go talk to Rista. Then back in the next episode to the West Wing. This is not where I want to be. This is actually... This leads me to my... the barracks. And hard to believe that we started this game for the third time almost a year ago, and I wasn't necessarily intending on finishing this run through with Decker, but I'm really glad we did. It's been a lot of fun to record an oddie run through the game for me, considering how much I was poo-pooing it. So, very glad to have done this on screen. I really do think recording it, in my case, caused the game to be very forgiving and not require me grinding any creature, with the exception, again, of those starting cave hoppers. Alright. Hello, Vista. Yes? Goodbye. I forgot to talk to Detrius. Then why don't we stop here, everyone? And when we come back, I will be outside the Institute. And I will talk to Rista then. We'll turn this quest in. Talk to Rista. Talk to Detrius. And then we will go to the West Wing and try to finish that up as well. Alright, everyone. So thank you for watching. There's over a few seconds and we're done. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.